Right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A new twist tonight in the upcoming Pam Hupp murder trial. Her legal move that's puzzling the attorney of the man convicted and later exonerated of the crime.
More sunshine, comfortable humidity levels tomorrow. I'll time out the chances of rain this weekend.
But first tonight, terrifying new video of shoppers running for their lives from a neighborhood market. A little girl almost caught in the crossfire.
This goes to show you about the violence happening in our community, that it's affecting us all.
One man died in that shootout. Good evening, I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Brent Solomon. Mike Bush has the night off. Just a few hours ago, prosecutors charging 2 suspects. New tonight, 5 on your side's Robert Townsend joins us now. Robert, what are you learning from police?
Brent and let me tell you this, Warren Smith and Marcel Payne are now charged with second-degree murder. Now, police say the 2 suspects gave those shoppers the scare of their lives. It's heart-jolting video. Police say a shootout broke out inside the Beverly Hills supermarket in North St. Louis County Wednesday and sent nearly 24 scared shoppers running for their lives.
All of these people were innocent. It was a terrible situation.
Police say in this surveillance photo, you can see suspect Marcel Payne first got into a fight with 23-year-old Carday Moore.
Mr. Payne had control of Mr. Moore, and this fight went through the store toward the exit door.
Moments later, police say Warren Smith fired multiple gunshots, killing Moore and wounding his accomplice, Payne. Surveillance video shows patrons, including a little girl, raced out the front door as bullets flew. Police say one bullet narrowly missed the child's head as shattered glass fell around her.
It appears she's dodging bullets as the glass door breaks over her, and she's 4 years old.
None of the shoppers or market employees were hurt.
I'm just happy that they're safe because I say, even though it's a little store, this is our store for the community.
It's not the store, it's the people and what they're doing now.
Prosecutors charged Warren Smith and Marcel Payne with second-degree murder and other felonies.
This goes to show you about the violence happening in our community, that it's affecting us all.
And tonight, Smith is in jail on a $1.5 million bond. Now, Payne is being held on a $1 million bond.
Robert, thank you. Tonight, Granite City police are investigating a deadly shooting. It happened just before 1 this afternoon on East 25th. Officers found the victim and started giving them aid, but they died from their injuries. A person of interest was taken into custody. No charges have been filed tonight.
Tonight, a St. Louis City Justice Center inmate's death is now under investigation. The inmate was found unresponsive inside of his cell yesterday. He died at the hospital. A cause of death has not been released, nor has his identity. This is the 5th inmate to die in the custody of the Justice Center this year. Now the Jail Oversight Board wants answers.
5 people dying since the beginning of the year, while in custody, while being supervised, while under surveillance. We need answers to these questions, and we need them immediately.
The board will meet on September 19th with the Corrections Commission. They say if they don't get the info they want, they'll pursue legal avenues.
Tonight, we're hearing from the family of a woman murdered in her Hazelwood home. Police say Christina Smith was killed Sunday morning by her husband. Gregory Smith is accused of beating and stabbing her inside of their home on Lightwood Drive. According to investigators, he then poured gasoline on the home with his 2 children inside. 5 on your side spoke to Christina's oldest sister, who hopes others learn from this loss.
My sister was a loving person. My sister did, so much good. Everyone that met her loved her. Unfortunately, she loved to death, and that's what happened to her.
Smith was charged with murder and endangering the welfare of a child. Tonight, he's being held without bond.
2 people who pled guilty in a murder-for-hire case took the stand today in Tim Norman's trial. The Welcome to Sweetie Pie star is accused of being the mastermind in the death of his nephew, Andre Montgomery Jr. Our Justina Cornell was in the courtroom.
Today, the jury heard from two key witnesses. Tarika Ellis and Travell Hill have already pled guilty in this case and took the stand this afternoon. Ellis was a stripper at the time, and she says she was in a sexual relationship with Norman for a few years. A week before the shooting, she was dancing at an East St. Louis club and met Montgomery, and they exchanged numbers from there. She tells the jury back in 2016, Norman asked her to help find his nephew and would pay her $10,000 to do so. She agreed. She shares the two got burner phones and tracked down Montgomery. As for Hill, he's the alleged shooter, and in court, he admitted to killing Montgomery, shooting him twice. He says he was paid $5,000. Hill shares Norman was a mentor to him and took responsibility for killing Montgomery. Now, court will resume tomorrow morning and will be in the courtroom updating you with the very latest across social media and our website, kstk.com. Back to you.
Tonight, the world is mourning the death of Queen Elizabeth II.
After 70 years on the throne, the British monarch passed away at her estate in Scotland today. Let's go ahead and take a live look from Buckingham Palace. It's early Friday morning there right now. A much quieter scene compared to just hours ago when crowds gathered to pay respects to Britain's longest reigning monarch. The entire United Kingdom is now in a 10-day state of mourning as funeral arrangements are being made. A funeral will likely happen in the next 10 days.
Tonight, tributes are pouring in for Queen Elizabeth. President Biden was the last of 14 U.S. presidents to meet with the British monarch. Today, he visited the British Embassy and expressed his condolences. Earlier tonight, he spoke about his relationship with the Queen.
I had the opportunity to meet her before she passed, and she was an incredibly gracious and decent woman. And the thoughts and prayers of the American people are with the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth in their grief.
Former presidents Carter, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Trump also paid tribute to the Queen, noting their private moments of warmth, humor, and charm.
Queen Elizabeth's grace and impact reached across the pond and touched the lives of many Americans. 5 on Your Side's Laura Berchesky shows us how the Queen is being remembered right here in St. Louis.
For more than 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II touched lives around the world.
She would have been a pretty incredible lady to sit down and have a cup of tea with.
She's been a pillar of stability.
And right here in St. Louis at the London Tea Room, Jackie James says she was the only monarch her family knew.
She's been queen for so long, my whole lifetime, that I just couldn't even imagine the time coming that we would lose her.
James says Queen Elizabeth served the country with unforgettable grace.
Even when terrible things happened and when it was really difficult, she just had so much grace in it all.
That grace and stability is what Washington University professor Mark Taylor says he saw firsthand when he met the Queen while teaching at Oxford University.
She came to my group and we had a conversation, and I spoke to her for what felt like about a year, but probably about 2 minutes.
While James says she never met the Queen, she says she was a fantastic example to her as a young girl.
When I was with the Girl Guides, or Girl Scouts, I remember how we commemorated her, and we had the keepsake mug, which I still have to this day.
Taylor says he hopes in honor of Queen Elizabeth, people will take a little bit of her kindness and work together rather than against each other.
The Queen was able to really rise above that change and be a force for constancy, a force for kindness in the world. And I think going forward we need to sort of think about and reflect on that.
I think that history will go down and show Queen Elizabeth II to be one of the greatest rulers of all time.
St. Louisans are sending their love to the royal family through a condolence book that's available for signatures from 10 to 5 all weekend at the London Tea Room. Reporting in St. Louis, Laura Barchesky, 5 on Your Side.
Queen Elizabeth never visited St. Louis, but back in 1977, then Prince Charles made a stop in our city and even went up the Gateway Arch. You can catch our royal coverage from 45 years ago right now on 5 Plus on your Roku or Amazon device.
Not long after Queen Elizabeth died, the royal family issued a statement from His Majesty the King, indicating her son Charles had taken the throne. But is that transfer automatic? Casey Decker with our Verified team takes a closer look at the royal line of succession.
With the death of Queen Elizabeth II, the United Kingdom has a new monarch, King Charles III. But is the transition automatic, or does it have to go through some sort of legal process? It's a question we saw raised by some folks online, so let's verify. Here are our sources. Succession to the throne is determined by hundreds of years of British law. For centuries, the first in line has been the monarch's eldest son, if there was one. Queen Elizabeth's first child is her son, Charles, so he's the clear successor. Now, in 2013, the law was actually changed so that starting with children born in 2011, the eldest is first in line regardless of their gender. But that doesn't apply here. Legal scholars at the University College London explained Charles will become king the moment the Queen dies, under an old common law rule called the king never dies. Now, there is something called the Ascension Council, which issues a formal proclamation of the Queen or King's death and the name of their successor. But they don't decide the new monarch. Scholars say the council and ceremonies like the coronation are both merely endorsing a succession that has already taken place. So we can verify, yes, succession to the throne in the UK is automatic. With your Fast Fact, I'm Casey Decker.
King Charles III is scheduled to address the people of Britain and the Commonwealth tomorrow. The official coronation ceremonies will likely happen months from now. As the UK mourns the death of Queen Elizabeth, 5 on Your Side will bring you the latest developments from across the pond, both on air and online. You can also download the 5 on Your Side app. New developments tonight in the Pam Hupp murder case. The legal move that has a prominent defense attorney connected to the case scratching his head. Tonight, a popular spot on the Del Mar Loop is celebrating the Big 5-0. We'll take you to the golden celebration for Blueberry Hill.
It just doesn't get any better than this on this blue sky night.
A brief cool down by Sunday. I'll time out any rain chances during our weekend.
The long and twisted case of Pam Hupp takes yet another unusual turn.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
The 64-year-old is awaiting trial for the murder of her friend Betsy Faria, a crime for which Faria's husband was originally convicted. Tonight, the I-Team's Christine Byers brings us the latest developments in this anything but usual case.
Pam Hupp has waived her right to a preliminary hearing in her trial for the murder of Betsy Faria. It's a relatively small development in court, which is gaining a lot of attention from Betsy's husband's legal team.
It's puzzling.
Joel Schwartz represented Russ Faria, who was originally charged with his wife's murder in 2001. He has always believed Hupp was the killer and eventually got Russ Faria's conviction overturned.
If you were Pam Hupp's attorney, would you advise her to waive her right to a preliminary hearing in this case?
I believe that her attorney is at least well versed in the law and understands what they are doing. However, I can't come up with a reason in a death penalty case why somebody in this particular situation would waive their right to a preliminary hearing.
In July 2021, Hupp was charged with Betsy Faria's murder and accused of framing Schwartz's client, Russ Faria, for the crime.
What was your reaction when you found out she waived her right to a preliminary hearing in this case?
I thought it was a mistake. Well, you would want to see as much as you can how evidence comes in, how witnesses present themselves, what a prosecutor might be attempting to argue in front of a jury. It essentially gives you, as you stated, a bit of a preview into what the evidence may or may not be.
Lincoln County Prosecutor Mike Wood said he could not comment on the pending case, and Hupp's public defender did not return a phone call seeking comment. Hupp is scheduled for an arraignment October 28th. Schwartz says he will be watching.
It's not without its challenges in that the initial investigation was so poorly done regarding Pam Hupp that it's difficult to recreate what there might have been had the investigation been done appropriately right at the start of Betsy Faria's death.
Hupp's attorneys also asked for a new judge, which is her right. We also spoke to the prosecutor who initially got Russ convicted. For her perspective on these developments, check out my story on KSDK.com. Back to you.
If you have a tip for the 5 on Your Side I-Team, call us at 314-444-5231 or email 5onyourside@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential. Tonight, Blueberry Hill is celebrating its 50th anniversary. The popular venue on the Del Mar Loop opened on this date in 1972. They rolled out the blue carpet for tonight's festivities. There was cake, a champagne toast, and of course live music in the duck room and karaoke. We talked with owner Joe Edwards on the left there about the legacy of Blueberry Hill.
I'm just delighted and thrilled and proud of all these years of helping to build up the Delmar Loop. I love St. Louis. I love the Delmar Loop. And the fact Blueberry Hill played a part in that is wonderful.
When Blueberry Hill first opened 50 years ago, it had just a hot dog machine. Music came to the venue in 1985 when it opened the Elvis Room. And when the Duck Room opened in 1997, rock and roll legend Chuck Berry performed every month until 2014.
Pretty amazing. Well, the St. Louis Art Fair returns to downtown Clayton this weekend. The three-day festival kicks off tomorrow with artwork from 182 artists. There will also be live music, food, children's activities, and much more. You can find everything you need to know by going to the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com.
Let's get to Jim Castillo for the latest forecast and maybe a preview into our weekend weather.
Yeah, with some good news, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm going to go even further out. Check this out. So everybody, writing in and saying, hey, Jim, could you show that extended forecast again? So September, October, and November. The Climate Prediction Center still says warmer than average in a whole those 3 months. So we'll have some cool moments like the ones coming up Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then drier than normal. But that said, there are some rain chances this weekend coming up. Let's start out with that time lapse we had from earlier. Look at that sunset tonight from Forest Park to Clayton. Beautiful stop the sun right there as it goes down below the horizon. So temperatures right now 71 degrees. That humidity is about 68%. Dew point about 60. So that's what made it so comfortable today. And the high temperature this afternoon 83. 1 degree below that average and then 63 for that low. Just stunning. In fact, outside of St. Louis 50s. And we'll see that again tonight. High pressure causes sinking air and it really just is making the entire Midwest beautiful. And then lows tonight again outside of St. Louis in the 50s to about 63 in the city. But otherwise low 50s even from Perryville, Missouri, Sparta, Illinois, and 56 around Jerseyville. So a little bit of that river fog, valley fog is very likely again tomorrow morning. The rivers are actually a little bit warmer than the air temperatures. Tomorrow, very sunny. High temperatures in the mid 80s around St. Louis. And then we're watching a little bit of moisture to the south and also a little bit of moisture to our north and west, but it doesn't look like much. There's a tropical low down around New Orleans. That's going to move north. And now it looks like a little bit of that moisture kind of moves our way as we head into the weekend forecast. So here it is, a futurecast showing clouds definitely on the increase on Saturday. And then that chance of spotty showers in here or storms, but limited, very limited. In fact, a very dry day in most spots on Saturday. Then that front comes in, so late at night Saturday night and into early Sunday, it looks like that activity kind of dies out a little bit and gets a little weaker Sunday. So a lot of dry time on Sunday also, and temperature is expected to be in the 80s for Saturday, but Sunday definitely a little bit cooler in the 70s. Watching Los Angeles for that tropical moisture from Kay that is now a tropical storm, and that will break their heat wave there. But for us, there it is, 75 Sunday, 78 Monday. That chance of some scattered showers in here. And then look at next week, guys. Maybe even next weekend and the low 90s.
Yeah, we like that. Jim, thanks. Well, sports is next. Let's check in with Frank.
History at Busch, greatness at Norwood, and humiliation for Kroenke. Stick around, please.
And we want to remind you of our new daytime programming lineup that starts Monday. Days of Our Lives is leaving broadcast television and moving to NBC's streaming service on Peacock. Not our decision. NBC News Daily will replace it at 2 p.m. At 3 o'clock, 5 on Your Side becomes the new home of Inside Edition. That's followed by Jeopardy, and then 5 on Your Side at 4 p.m.
Chasing 700 is sponsored by CarShield.
Albert 0 for 5. Now, I want you to look closely at this video behind me. This is Adam Wainwright throwing a pitch to Yadier Molina. This is their first career start together. The date was April 6, 2007. 324 starts later, they made history today, tying the record for most all-time starts by a battery. It was 47 years ago to the day that Mickey Lolich and Bill Freehan teamed up for 324. How about that? Amazing. Second inning, and Yachty begins a big day. He takes it deep to left field. It's gone to put the Cardinals up 3-1. Wainwright, not a great day. Self-defense mode, shut up the middle. He gave up 4 runs on 5 innings. Nats led 4-3 in the fourth when Yadier does it again. This one will get out to tie the game. His 9th 2-homer game of Yadier's career.
No, never.
But it was that Cardinals bullpen that imploded today. Alex Cal with the coup de grace off James Nail. Nats win 11-6.
And partner in crime, we've been together for a long time, so you know, we got to finish strong. Though, nobody celebrates tying anything, you know. So, or maybe they do a little bit, but they celebrate more when you win.
Really, it's special. I mean, we know what the deal is, and I know that's going to be tough to break. We enjoy it. I mean, right now it's a special moment for us. So.
The Ascension Charity Classic begins tomorrow at Norwood Hills Country Club. And I'm telling you, there are some compelling stories out there. And I don't know if there's one better than David Duvall. David grew up in Florida where his father was a club pro. His dad abandoned him twice, but David became the #1 player in the world, won the Open Championship, shot a 59 one day. But a series of injuries and personal difficulties crippled his career later. He actually lost his tour card, but now at age 50, he's back trying on the Champions Tour. No matter what you do for the rest of your life, you can always say that at one time, I was the best player in the world. I was ranked higher than Tiger Woods.
Right.
What's it like knowing that in the back of your mind?
You know what? It puts a smile on my face when you say it. Ask me a question like that, because it's not something I think about at this point. It's certainly an accomplishment that I don't want to say marvel at, but I certainly take a great pride in having done it. But it's a bit of time ago, and I'm trying to figure out how to be a great player out here on the Old Man's Tour.
Accenture put on their annual youth golf event for kids from 5 different organizations. Professionals told their stories, gave lessons, and had some fun with these aspiring young golfers in the area.
I think it's very likely that a golfer from this group will come out and make a name for themselves. At least that's the hope anyway. And, you know, even if it's not, you know, they could find a place in the industry, work in the industry, or they can just find this beautiful game to enjoy in life.
Thursday night football, and Stan sucking on his fingers and his team stinking on the field. A humiliating beatdown by Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. The final 31-10. You gotta love it. High school football action tonight. Francis Howell taking on Lutheran North. The Vikings are loaded again this year. Here's Adam Shipley to Jude James in the end zone for the touchdown. Howell wins 42-21.
You are relentless.
Called him out.
I felt just so bad for the Rams.
Picking his teeth, maybe.
He didn't know you were filming. Thank you, Frank.
All righty.
Well, no milk, no problem. The new way to enjoy your Frosted Flakes, your Fruit Loops, and even your Apple Jacks coming up.
Fall officially begins tomorrow at Eckert's Millstadt Farm. Tomorrow, the 12-acre corn maze will open for the season. This year's design celebrates St. Louis City SC spirit. The maze is open Friday to Sunday only. Here's the design of the maze. They had a contest. We've posted ticket information at ksdk.com.
NASA has 2 dates in mind for its next attempt at launching the Artemis 1 rocket. It could happen on September 23rd or the 27th. This comes after 2 scrubbed launches last week due to technical issues. The Artemis program aims to return people to the moon and eventually Mars.
Kellogg's has released a new cereal, and you don't need cold milk to enjoy it. The new Instables are little tubs of cereal with milk powder. When you add water and stir, the milk rehydrates, creating instant milk and cereal. There are 4 to choose from: Frosted Flakes, Raisin Bran, Crunch, Fruit Loops, and Apple Jacks. Jim, great for camping, great for some of our reporters who are so busy all day long on the road.
I agree. It sounds delicious.
We need an instant weather forecast that's great.
You'll love most of the 10-day forecast. Now, even this weekend, it's not a washout by any means. Lots of dry time, but let's go through it. So temperatures tomorrow, it's all sunshine. Some fog in the morning and then 86 for that high, but some of us even a little bit cooler than that. Then Saturday, 85, lots of clouds around, but only spotty showers, maybe an isolated storm, especially south of Interstate 70. Then on Sunday, a chance of showers and spotty storms in there. Cooler, but then we warm up and we dry out next week.
We'll take it. Jim, thanks. That's all of our time for 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon is next.
Jimmy's guest tonight, Blake Shelton. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great Friday. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Good night.